Hello there. This is where the fun begins.
So, Ahsoka Season 2 has finally been confirmed to be in development. It looks to begin its filming and its production actually just a little bit later this year. After The Mandalorian Season 4 wraps up with its filming and Jon Favreau goes to begin on his Mandalorian and Grogu movie, Dave Filoni's presumably going to go off and start really working on Ahsoka Season 2. However, there are a couple of things that Ahsoka Season 2 needs to do in order to be successful overall. That's exactly what we're going to be discussing in this video, as well as new little tidbits of what we've been hearing about Ahsoka Season 2 thus far here as well, so stick around for that. We're gonna go ahead, we're gonna break it all down for you guys. Before we do though, however, grab that subscribe button if you haven't already, as we're discussing and covering all types of Star Wars related news, leaks, rumors, theories, and breakdowns here on the channel. So if you guys are into any of that, go ahead and grab that subscribe button today. Okay, so in this video, we are going to be taking a quick read from CBR.com. I'll have their article linked in the description down below. Some of the fans even might call this, with Ahsoka, actually just a straight up mistake or a wrongdoing, but in comparison, it can be fixed in Season 2. If you want to use such harsh terms of, oh, it was a mistake or it was wrong or whatever the case may be, I really think it is something all that much simple, and we even got a little bit of it, especially in the finale of Ahsoka Season 1. So Lucasfilm has officially announced that Dave Filoni is currently developing the second season of Ahsoka. The first season of the Star Wars Disney Plus series changed the franchise forever, following the former Jedi Ahsoka Tano and her allies, the Ghost Crew, as they worked to stop the villainous Grand Admiral Thrawn from escaping his exile and returning to the main Star Wars galaxy. However, given the season's cliffhanger ending, the second season can't come soon enough for the viewers. And even then, for a while, many of us felt a bit unsure that we were even going to get it. With so many unanswered questions, Ahsoka Season 2 is bound to answer most of them, hopefully. Ahsoka makes Star Wars Rebels, the animated show, quite honestly essential of a viewing for any Star Wars fan by reintroducing several of the animated series characters into live action, including Harrison Dula, Sabine Wren, Ezra, Chopper, and Thrawn. As terrific as the series was for its depiction of these characters, the Ahsoka series missed a major opportunity in its first season. Even though most of the Rebels' main characters appear in the series and throughout, they are never actually fully reunited in the first season, something of which Season 2 needs to fix when it finally does release, as into that, many want to see the Ghost Crew reunite for one, but also in live action. It's quite a resume, let's say, for this reason behind this. Of course, it's quite a granted and obvious thing, but if you need those reasons, Star Wars Rebels, the animated show, ran for 4 seasons, consisting of 75 episodes. Kanan Jarrus is the only member of the Ghost Crew not to have ever appeared in live action, and probably won't ever actually do so. The last time the Ghost Crew was all together was just before Kanan's death in the year 1 BBY, before about 13 years before the events of the Ahsoka show. So it's definitely been some time in universe since these characters have actually all reunited. As amazing as the first season was of Ahsoka, Ahsoka missed the opportunity to bring the Ghost Crew back together for the first time since the end of the Star Wars Rebels animated show, with the exceptions of Kanan Jarrus, of course, who died shortly before the events of the original trilogy with Starting a New Hope, and Zeb as well, who was previously seen in The Mandalorian Season 3. The entirety of the rest of the Ghost Crew appears in the first season of Ahsoka. However, each character is mostly engaged in their own storylines apart from another. The entire crew hasn't been together since Ezra Bridger's disappearance at the end of Rebels. The season ends when Ezra finally reunites though, however, with Hera and Chopper, but this is only after Sabine finds herself, alongside Ahsoka, trapped in another galaxy. Most of the Star Wars Rebels crew has appeared in live action now, but Star Wars will desperately needs to put its classic crew back together again, all together. The iconic characters have been separated for far too long, making their reunion long overdue. The crew of the Ghost Crew as well was, for all intents and purposes, a family of outcasts, outlaws, and outmoded warriors who loved one another when no one else did. Their long separation was not only painful for each of them, but character building at the same time. Each member of the crew has grown into a different person since the end of the Rebels animated show, and the Ahsoka show quite honestly displays that very well, making their coming reunion all the more interesting, I think, at the same time. I mean, just looking alone at the reunion between Sabine and Ahsoka in Ahsoka Season 1, there's definitely been some things that have probably maybe happened between much of the rest of the Ghost Crew and throughout. When they finally do come back together, though, however, because they will definitely have to sometime or another, and if it isn't in Ahsoka Season 2, it would have to be in Dave Filoni's Thrawn movie, I think that could build a whole lot more anticipation all at the same time as well. There is no telling exactly whether or not things can be the same as they once were, though, however, when they were in the animated show. This will finally put the family to the test as they try to reignite their bonds after so long of being apart. I mean, will it really stand a chance when they do finally all come back together? And I think the answer to that, though, however, it has to be yes. I mean, basing off of how Ezra and Sabine interact with one another when they finally do get to meet up. And same thing for Ahsoka, quite honestly, at the same time. They don't really appear to be strangers all that much. They kind of warm up to each other once again. The Ghost Crew will inevitably get back together at some point, shortly, though the exact circumstances behind their reunion remain quite unclear. As I had mentioned, it should and could happen in Ahsoka Season 2, but there's also this idea that it could be held off for Dave Filoni's Thrawn movie, building a whole lot more anticipation for it. Ezra's return in Ahsoka certainly puts things in motion, though, however. He finally returns from his years long in exile in another galaxy, of where he was trapped with Grand Admiral Thrawn and his army. Now back in the company of Hera and Chopper, Ezra's next steps will most likely be to track down Zeb, who was last seen working with Carson Teva and the New Republic Navy in The Mandalorian Season 3, so he can't really have separated himself from any kind of wrongdoings that took place in between Rebels and Ahsoka, very similar to maybe the way that Ahsoka and Sabine were when we find them in Ahsoka Season 1. After that, all of their different efforts would go towards finding a way to get Ahsoka and Sabine back from this other galaxy, Peridea, where they remain trapped after the events of the previous season. It's something I would definitely love to see, is kind of it spreading like wildfire, and each one of them kind of finding each other in this vast galaxy. Like Ezra and Hera, I mean, they probably have an idea of where Zeb is because he's working with the New Republic, as Hera is a general for the New Republic, but kind of just getting the band back together in a way of those sorts, and kind of putting on this big, awesome rescue mission, essentially, for Ahsoka Season 2. I definitely think could be a really driving factor for it. In the aftermath of their latest battle with Grand Admiral Thrawn, Ahsoka and Sabine's return to the main Star Wars galaxy is an item of utmost certainty. Most of Season 2 of Ahsoka will likely follow part of the Ghost Crew, as they attempt to find a way to rescue their stranded friends. However, with Thrawn now back on the cusp of starting another war in the main Star Wars galaxy that we've all known and loved, it seems unlikely that they will have any time to actually track down the Purgles and make it back to Peridea and back to the main galaxy. More likely, the Ghost Crew will spend most of their time together fighting off Thrawn and his army before they're able to instate the Galactic Empire, or the rise of the First Order by then. As terrifying as Thrawn's return may be, though, however, in universe, the Rebels have defeated him in the past, and can probably, fingers crossed, do so again. At least telling by the time we roll around to the sequels, I don't see Thrawn anywhere. Anyway, even so, it will take some hard work, devotion, and unity to save the galaxy once more, forcing the Ghost Crew to put aside whatever qualms that they may have and focus on the mission at hand. Reuniting the Ghost Crew makes even more sense from the perspective of fighting Thrawn. The Ghost Crew seem to have the most experience with it when it comes to fighting and taking on the Grand Admiral Thrawn. Bringing them all back together may give the New Republic the best chance against Thrawn and his undead army. This could even include bringing back Captain Rex, who often has worked with the Ghost Crew, which would also give fans another much more desired reunion between Rex and Ahsoka. This here all being said, guys, let me know all of your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. I would love to hear what you guys are all thinking. What do you guys want to see with Ahsoka Season 2? I would love to hear all of your thoughts and opinions and theories in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching today's video. Of course, this has been an official Star Wars. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great one. May the Force be with you as always. Peace out. Thank you.